Let's bring in senior advisor for President Trump, Jason Miller. Jason, just take us through how the president's doing right now, what he's up to, and we'll talk about that enthusiasm in the base there. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, Bob and Katrina, great to be with you. So this morning, President Trump has been making calls into local radio stations here in Iowa. He's been calling a number of his precinct captains, the Trump Caucus operation, which is something that's kind of our centerpiece, where each of these 1,650 or so precincts, we have Trump supporters there and turning everybody out. That's where kind of the guts of the turnout operation. The president's meeting with his Iowa leadership team as of this moment. Do some more calls this afternoon, and then pretty soon people will be at the caucus sites.
And what exactly, and this is, I don't even know the answer to this, what will former president be doing during the caucuses, considering there are so many of them?
So we just might see a sneak appearance by President Trump at one of the caucuses, or maybe even potentially more than one. But we don't want to go and announce that in advance just because we don't want to have too much chaos and interrupt it. So we are going to do everything we can to turn people out. This is where the rubber meets the road. We have the votes that we need. We just need folks to go and show up and feel pretty excited about it. You're playing the rally footage there from yesterday, just a moment ago. And that event yesterday by President Trump was more than every other candidate combined over this weekend down the home stretch leading up into tonight. And so we feel good about where things are, feel confident, not going to be cocky. We got to turn everybody out. So if you're watching at home, make sure you show up by 6:30 tonight and make sure to vote for President Trump.
Yeah, I know the president's been big on telling people, don't rest on your laurels here. Don't rest on these poll numbers, which I'm about to discuss here, Jason. The former president up 55%. That's major, historical, actually. The next closest person, Nikki Haley, 21, Ron DeSantis, 15 here. You guys got to feel good about these poll numbers going through. I think the messages you want to drive home here while we got a couple hours to go is, like you said, make sure you get out there, make sure you vote here.
Yeah, the numbers are good, but don't go and raise expectations on me. A win is a win, so I'm going to be happy with any win. And then we'll go to New Hampshire and get the win next week as well. The other numbers that look really good, and I got to push back on my good friend Senator Santorum, who's on just a moment ago. You look at the polling numbers of President Trump against Joe Biden in these swing states, whether it be Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, Arizona, Georgia, Nevada. Pennsylvania, Senator Santorum's home state, for example, President Trump is beating Joe Biden by 6 points. That is a massive number. That's why people are rallying and saying, you know what, we saw what you did in your first 4 years, President Trump. Now let's get you back. You're the one who can beat Biden.
I thought you may respectfully disagree there.
I like that. Yeah. Well, we
friendly
like
disagree. We can be civil in this country.
And that's how it should be. Jason, got to get your thoughts on this. I was watching the political shows this weekend, watching Meet the Press, and I thought it was really interesting. Chuck Todd had something interesting to say. He was sort of waxing about, well, it's amazing. Trump's base goes behind him in a stronger and stronger way with every legal case. But he said something then interesting that caught my attention. See if you catch it. Take a listen.
You and I, at the start of this race, wondered what his legal challenges would mean. It's only made him stronger. That was the big X factor if you rewind to last year.
There's going to be so many what ifs, though. What if Alvin Bragg had not gone first, right?
Yep.
What if only Jack Smith had done? I could tell you this. Ron DeSantis has already said his excuse if he ends up getting out of this race. He's already diagnosed why he didn't make it. And he has said he blames Alvin Bragg. Look, I've talked to folks inside the White House. They didn't believe these indictments would actually be a benefit to him either.
Bingo. It was that part at the end there, Jason, when Chuck Todd said that he had spoken to people inside the White House who didn't think that these legal cases would be a benefit for President Trump. I thought the White House had nothing to do with the prosecution coming from the DOJ.
Except that when they do, I mean, it's all coming from Joe Biden. I mean, go back to 2016 when Joe Biden was in the Oval Office and they came up with the whole conspiracy on the Logan Act, and that led to the Russia. Joe Biden and the rest of the Democratic machinery have been behind this the entire time. But it doesn't matter whether he tries to weaponize the DOJ or any of these other civil courts around the country or anything in Atlanta or anywhere else. Voters are pretty smart. I think voters can see what's going on, that Biden has completely given up on running an issues-based campaign, so he's trying to weaponize the judicial system. But one other point I got to make about turnout, and just especially with the weather and our people for tonight with the caucuses, I think a real indicator